to everyone who's here. And it is with great pleasure that I welcome you all on behalf of the organizers of this conference. And as we go through this day, which is going to be something that we are all looking forward to, I wanted to just in this opening message, first of all, say how today, in the middle of what clearly has been a most difficult time for everyone, to actually come and hear and think. And that is something interesting about about thought, is that we have to actually consciously do it. And many of the people who are going to be speaking today, they have also spent long hours preparing their presentation. And we are grateful as organizers. I mean, I certainly am most grateful to the people who their names to speak, because it isn't easy to do this. And in case you were wondering why we started a bit late, the idea of the opening, because we were aware that we would be working with people in different places, and as of now there are people taking part who are in from what I can see, who are in Bhutan, in India, in the UK, in England and Scotland both, and perhaps elsewhere too during the course of the day. So we wanted to build in a bit of time at the very start. All here, and we can begin. So first of all, welcome and Tashidele, everyone. The story of this conference goes back at least 2 years, if not much longer. But in very practical terms, we actually held the first Bhutan Biodemocracy and Resilience Conference in 2019, in the summer of 2019. And that conference grew out of out of a project that I had conceived, and that had been, again, the result of. So as we went along, I mean, one thing that was always clear was that these were not going to be endeavors where we would have, only people speak who were used to speaking and who were used to interacting with the people that they were speaking with. So we wanted to do something interesting in terms of being able to get people from different backgrounds, professionally, socially, identitarianally, and so on, and to be able for them to share each other's understanding and why did I think that was important, and why did we work so hard to get people from across sectors? It's because I think there is such a thing as multi-perspectival objectivity, and that's what I think the best of research, social science research, should aim for, which is that we get different perspectives on the same reality based on the positionality and experiences of the different people who are engaging with that reality. And so when we talk about something like development, terms, but when we speak about something like development, it is very important to understand not simply what development is from the point of view of its delivery, but what development means. And who better than so many people in Bhutan, which has such a long history of counterfactually and counterintuitively and creatively thinking about what development means in terms of lived experience. So we wanted to do that, and we did that with the first conference. And I'm going to just briefly show you, because this Biodemocracy and Resilience report that we produced, which was the proceedings of the first conference. And then last year in 2020, we produced the second report, which was also, again, formulated along similar lines. However, something that distinguishes those conferences from what we are going to do today is that, unlike those conferences where we broadly thought of a range of people and sectors and people that we would want to with them, for this conference we wanted it to be something that would be about early career researchers, and that includes people from a variety of backgrounds that who are perhaps postgraduate students, doctorate students, postdoctoral students, policy, people who work in the policy arena or in bureaucracy. So people who are not necessarily at this point thinking of academic work as people who are interested in doing that, or in some way are working towards doing that, and perhaps some some may already be doing that. And we wanted to have people who would be able to act as discussants and give them a a perspective on their work. So this conference came out of an open call for papers. Everyone that any of you here speaking today has not been approached individually. They have persuaded us through their work and through their through what we read of their abstracts, that what they're doing is interesting. And they will and we will cover over the course of the day a variety of topics. And so as we go into the next session, you will see that there is a broad theme in that we want to be able to see how with the after effects of the pandemic, and with the many of the changes that have been ongoing globally and also in Bhutan, what understand those changes in order to be able to grapple with the challenges of what we think of broadly as developmental challenges. So without further ado, I want to say that it is a great pleasure to have everyone here, and I'm going to call upon my my collaborators. So this is a kind of a transcontinental thing. So as the project principal investigator, I'm based here today, but my co-investigators are in Bhutan, and I'm and they're, especially now with the pandemic pulling us all in different directions, it is important that for there to be people there who are engaging with this. And I will just ask them if either Tharchin or I don't know if Sange is here would like to speak. But if not, I can continue on with some other points and acknowledgements. Tharchin, would you like to speak? Yes. So if you
good morning and Kuzambo to all of you. So this is Tharchin representing Center for Local Governance and Research. First and foremost thing, I would like to congratulate all the speakers on the presenters here, and we also would like to thank our vulnerable discussants who heartedly agreed to come forward and chair today's sessions. For local governance, we would like to thank the Center for the Study of Democracy, and especially Professor Nitasha for taking the lead role in this research conference. And back to you, Nitasha. Thank you for all the best. I wish all the best for all the speakers and discussants here.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Tharchin. Another person so we will have a formal closing, vote of thanks at the closing, but another person whose contributions to making many practical aspects of is Dichen Rabgil. He's also one of the speakers in the last session, and you would all I think have at different points received emails from Dichen, who has played a most crucial role in bringing many very practical and important aspects of this conference together. So so my gratitude to all of you for being here, to my co-investigators, to Dichen, and to all of the speakers and discussants who will be making this other things. One, that this conference is not like many of the other previous events, not the end, but the beginning of lots of other things that may follow on from this. And one important thing that I want to highlight is that in the future, I'm sorry, I periodically pause because people come into the waiting room and I have to admit them. So I am doing that as well alongside this. So one important thing is that by way of making these conversations count, we do very much envisage a book or some kind of a collection of academic papers that comes out of this. And both to people who are speaking today or to people who might be interested in getting involved with the book project as an academic output, please do get in touch with us after the conference. And it will, the more of us that there are in thinking through these things in various domains, the better it is. And Okay, if there is an issue with sound, please let me know. But you would see that many of these events are sort of cross-sectoral, but also focusing on different subsets of our thought collectives. And here, what we are looking at are yes, here what we are looking at are our scholars. We are looking at those who produce and will continue to produce research, thoughtful and practical research as well, about different aspects of of uh, developmental governance experience, people's participation, all of that in Bhutan. And so from a very academic point of view, I think that, for those of you who are Tharchan, for some reason, I seeing there is an echo, a very strange echo. Person, maybe you can just have a look at whether things are moving along smoothly. I was going to say that, yes, so for this particular conference, we are really focusing on those who are interested in academic work. And like languages, there are different languages of thought. So when we speak to to broader media publics or policy publics, we are speaking somewhat not quite always in the same way that we are also speaking when we speak in an academic context. So in process, and peer review basically means that your research, in order for it to be your research has to be persuasive to your peers who can offer you critical feedback, which is why we've got the discussants here for that role, who can act as your peers. And as we go along, as I said, when we move from today and from the papers today to the journey of the book that we will eventually have, that peer review process will also be part of it. So in whatever capacity, whether you want to write or in some other editorial or other capacity be part of this project, please do get in touch with us. And finally, one other thing that I want to again draw to the attention of you, your friends and neighbors, and perhaps people is that we have also a call for essays out right now, an essay competition that is targeted towards undergraduate Bhutanese students, encouraging them to think and reflect on developmental, to encourage, since these are young people, to encourage them. We have also got some prizes. So as with those conferences that we've previously had, and this conference today, which is somewhat different because it's more academic, we also have the call for papers for the essay. The announcement for that is on the Bhutan Biodemocracy page, but also the Facebook page has all of the details. And so if you know of any undergraduate students, there is still time. The deadline for that is the 12th of October. Certainly looking forward to building these steps towards towards having a situation where we have more and more people think and write and reflect and engage with each other on issues that concern us all in Bhutan and also globally, because as we saw, especially during the way in which Bhutan's handling of the pandemic challenges was actually an example for the world. So in many ways we can globally in this very small planet that we all inhabit together. And so today's endeavor really is about encouraging early career researchers. So I would respectfully request those of you who are asking questions, perhaps who have much greater expertise in some area, to be kind and to offer constructive feedback, to encourage people who will be speaking today, so that they can go on to continue they do. And also, most importantly, to have people who are experienced and have grown up within a Bhutanese context to be able to reflect on on their understanding with with perhaps other inputs from other places or their experiences, but for that knowledge creation process to be owned very much by the researchers from within Bhutan themselves. And this is something that we see across institutions now happening more and more. intervention or part of this is to have something like the conversation that we will have today, where we encourage early career researchers and young professionals to share their thoughts and their ideas with us. I'm going to ask if with that, I think we can proceed to our first speaker. I know there's a couple of minutes, but we have to, since these are online events, we have to have a little margin built in time-wise to have everything set up for the next session. So may I just ask if the speaker and the discussant are for the next session are here online? Are they visible to the IT person to be able to spotlight them? Excellent. And the discussant for this session is also here. Yes, of course. Yes, I see that. Thank you so much. These are coordination challenges, and I very much look forward to the day when we can all be in a hall or a room or somewhere in a physical space to be able to interact in the way that we all used to be able to. But much gratitude and thank you, Dashokar. I would expect nothing less of an engaged practitioner and thinker and someone who has, devoted all these years to public service. Thank you for being here, and we are most grateful. The speaker for the first session is, I'm also not the most technologically advanced person, certainly not at 6 a.m. in the morning. So for all of you who are perhaps wondering, know that I'm in a time zone where it isn't even remotely daylight. It's something like 6 a.m. Okay, is it? Yes. Hello, Kinley. Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful. I also love your background, the picture that I can see behind you. Yes. And I can't wait to hear everything about what you have to tell us. So I think with that, this is open. We are very much looking forward to the first session. And for those of you who may have missed at different points in the day, what we have been talking about, the abstracts, the bios of the presenters, all of the details are online. And so we start the first session where Kinde Aiden Dorji will be presenting her paper, and I'm still admitting people into this session. So again, if you are joining, please don't worry about being late. You can continue to join, and you can find details online. Have Dashush Siddham, who will be offering the remarks, in his position as a discussant, and of course anyone of you who are in the room, in this virtual room, are welcome to ask questions and offer comments, and also we hope these conversations will be continued. So thank you so much, and Kinley Pedon Dorji, please do continue.